Okay. Get these injury reports up and then we can get started. Good afternoon or good evening, football fans. Big Al here on this Thursday, October 7th, or rather Thursday, November 7th, 2024. And welcome to a doubleheader here on the channel. Our main focus today is the Week 10 NFL picks, both straight up and against the spread, plus the injury report going into Thursday Night Football between the Bengals and Ravens later on. And the second part, we'll be looking at the latest college football playoff rankings that were released Tuesday night. I was busy the last couple of days. I had totally forgotten about it, but we'll get to those college football playoff rankings really soon after we take a look at my picks. Alright, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, ring the bell, and get notified every time I go live. And now we'll look at the Week 10 injury report for the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens prior to their divisional clash on Thursday Night Football in a little more than 2 hours. And we'll start with the Cincinnati Bengals. You've got tackle Orlando Brown questionable with a knee and a fibula. Wide receiver T. Higgins is doubtful with a quadricep, so chances are we won't see him tonight. Defensive tackle B.J. Hill is questionable with a rib, and wide receiver Charlie Jones is doubtful with a groin. And for the Baltimore Ravens, you have running back Rasheen Ali questionable with an ankle. Cornerback Jalen Armour-Davis doubtful with a knee. Tight end Isaiah Likely is out with a hamstring. Running back Keaton Mitchell is questionable with a knee. And defensive end Brent Urban is out with a concussion. The remainder of the injury report for Week 10 will be on Sunday morning, about 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, so make sure you join me then for that. Now let's dive into my Week 10 NFL picks, both straight up and against the spread. And we're going to start off with Thursday Night Football, getting underway again in a little more than 2 hours, as the 4-5 Cincinnati Bengals visit the 6-3 Baltimore Ravens. That is tonight at 8:15 on Prime. Announcers are Ed Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit, and Kaylee Hartung. The Bengals moved up to number 19 in my Week 10 power rankings. Many will argue it's still a little bit low, but okay. Baltimore is at number 6 in my Week 10 power rankings. Current point spread is Baltimore -6, over under is 52.5. I have the Ravens winning this one 31-24. We'll have the game go over 52.5, and I'm taking the Ravens at home -6. Now to Sunday, and we're starting off overseas once again. The final international game of 2024 has the 2-7 New York Giants facing the 2-7 Carolina Panthers. Carolina is the designated home team in this matchup. And this game is taking place at Allianz Arena in Munich, Germany. Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern on NFL Network. So y'all have to get up early to watch this one. Like me, I have to wake up early for it. It's at 7:30 my time. Your announcers will be Rich Eisen, Kurt Warner, Jamie Erdahl, and Sarah Walsh. Both are on the bottom third of my Week 10 power rankings. The Giants coming at 24, the Panthers at 29. Current point spread is New York -6.5, over under is 40. I have the Giants winning 23-13, the game finishing under 40, and I'm taking New York -6.5. Down to the Sunday early games, there are 7 in the 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific window, and then you'll have 3 late games. So starting the early slate out is the 6-3 Atlanta Falcons at the 2-7 New Orleans Saints, who of course fired Dennis Allen as their head coach earlier this week. Sunday at 1 p.m. on Fox, your announcers are Joe Davis, Greg Olsen, and Pam Oliver. The Falcons are at number 11 in my Week 10 Power Rankings, while the Saints are at number 32. Current point spread is Atlanta -4, over-under is 46.5. Falcons win 26-20. The game will finish under. And I have the Falcons covering the 4-point spread. Next up, a former divisional matchup from back in the day. The 7-2 Buffalo Bills at the 4-5 Indianapolis Colts. Sunday at 1 p.m. on CBS. Your announcers are Andrew Catalan, Tiki Barber, Jason McCourty, and AJ Ross. The Bills are at number 8 in my Week 10 Power Rankings. The Colts number 21. Current point spread is Buffalo -4, over-under is 47. Bills will win this one 27-17. The game will finish just under 47. And I'm taking the Buffalo Bills -4 on the road. Up next, the 8-0 Kansas City Chiefs play host to the 5-4 Denver Broncos. Sunday at 1 p.m. on CBS. Announcers will be Kevin Harlan, Trent Green, and Melanie Collins. After losing to the Ravens big last week, the Broncos fell to number 18 in my Week 10 Power Rankings. And the Kansas City Chiefs, who had held the top spot in the Power Rankings pretty much all season, fell to number 2. Current point spread is Kansas City -9, over-under is 41.5. I just do not trust Kansas City with large spreads. Plus, the Denver Broncos played the Chiefs very tough in both their matchups last year, and I think they actually won at Arrowhead. But I don't think lightning will strike twice. I have the Chiefs winning straight up 23-17. The game going under 41.5. But I am taking Denver plus the 9 points. The next game, I debated about making my lock of the week, but I made it another game. You'll see which game that is later. But for now, we're looking at the 6-2 Minnesota Vikings at the 2-7 Jacksonville Jaguars. Sunday at 1 p.m. on Fox. Your announcers are Adam Amin, Mark Schlereth, or rather Mark Sanchez, and Christina Pink. Alright, the Vikings are at number 9 in my Week 10 Power Rankings. The Jaguars are down at number 25, as they are one of a host of teams with a 2-7 record. Current point spread is Minnesota -7, over-under is 44. I have the Vikings winning rather easily, 28-13. The game going under 44. And I'm taking the Vikings as the road favorite at -7. Now, there is a strong possibility we could see Mac Jones in at quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars on Sunday, as Trevor Lawrence is nursing a shoulder injury. If there's anything on the Jacksonville injury report on Sunday about him, I'll tell you all about it then. Next up, you got the 2-7 New England Patriots at the 4-4 Chicago Bears. Sunday at 1 p.m. on Fox. Your announcers are Kevin Kugler, Daryl Johnston, a.k.a. The Moose, and Laura Oakman. The Patriots are down to number 30 in my Week 10 Power Rankings after their overtime loss at Tennessee. The Bears are down to number 16 after they got dominated by the Cardinals. After that 4-2 start, the Bears all of a sudden have lost back-to-back games. Current point spread is Chicago -6, over-under is 38.5. I do have the Bears winning straight up 20-17. This game will finish just under 38.5. But I'm taking the Patriots plus the 6. I think their defense will keep it close. Alright, next up, was a game that I had originally designated as game of the week, but I later switched it. And that's the 6-2 Pittsburgh Steelers at the 7-2 Washington Commanders. Sunday at 1 p.m. on CBS. Your announcers are Ian Eagle, Charles Davis, and Evan Washburn. Both are in the top 5 of my Week 10 power rankings, as the Steelers sit at number 3 and the Commanders at number 4. Current point spread is Washington minus 2.5. Over-under is 45.5. Now, the big reason why Washington is 7-2 is they really haven't played anyone. This is probably their first true test of 2024, and I have the Steelers winning this game 24-20. The game will duck just under 45.5, and I'm taking the road underdog Pittsburgh Steelers at plus 2.5. And then rounding out the early games, you have the 4-4 San Francisco 49ers, who will be getting Christian McCaffrey back after he sat out for half the season because of injuries. They're in Tampa Bay this week, facing off with the 4-5 Buccaneers. Sunday at 1 p.m. on Fox. Your announcers are Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady, Aaron Andrews, and Tom Rinaldi. The Niners are back into my top 10 in my Week 10 power rankings, as they sit at number 10. The Buccaneers, who had that overtime loss Monday night in Kansas City, fell to number 20. Current point spread is San Francisco minus 6. Over-under is 50.5. I have the Bang Bang Niner gang winning this one 30-17. The game will finish under 50.5. Wouldn't be surprised if it goes over. And I have the 49ers covering the 6 points. Now to the 3 late games, starting off with the 2-6 Tennessee Titans and the 5-3 Los Angeles Chargers. Sunday at 4:05 p.m. on Fox. Your announcers for this game are Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma, and Megan O'Leary. Jack LP's in the building. What up, homie? Thanks for dropping in. The Titans are at number 27 in my Week 10 power rankings, and the Chargers are all the way up to number 12. I mean, their defense is legit. Current point spread is LA minus 7.5, over under 38.5. And I made this game my lock of the week. I have the Chargers winning 23-13. Game will finish under 38.5. And I'm taking LA as the home favorite at minus 7.5. And now to game 2 of the CBS doubleheader. Folks in New York and Phoenix will be seeing the 3-6 New York Jets and the 5-4 Arizona Cardinals. Sunday at 4:25 on CBS. Your announcers will be Spiro Ditas, Adam Archuleta, and Aditi Kinkawala. Alright, check MP's at work getting ready for Thursday Night Football. Yep, I'm getting ready for it too. It's going to be a good one with the Bengals and Ravens. Can't wait to see it. The Jets are at number 22 in my Week 10 power rankings, right after last Thursday night's victory over the Texans. And the Cardinals, who just jack-stomped the Bears, they're at number 14. Current point spread is New York minus 1.5. Over-under is 46.5. I have the Jets winning this one 24-20. Game going under 46.5. Just barely, though. And I'm taking the Jets at minus 1.5. The rest of the country will be seeing an NFC Eastern Division battle between old arch rivals, as the 6-2 Philadelphia Eagles, riding a 4-game winning streak, head down to Jerry World to face the 3-5 Dallas Cowboys. Sunday at 4:25 on CBS, and that will have the top broadcast team of Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, and Tracy Wolfson. The Eagles have soared to number 5 in my Week 10 power rankings, while the Dallas Cowboys, who may be without Dak Prescott for at least the next 4 games. They're down at number 26. So they'll be having Cooper Rush at quarterback instead of Prescott. Current point spread is Philly -7, over-under is 43. Eagles will win this one 31-17. The game will shoot over 43. And I've got the Eagles as the road favorite at -7. And if the Eagles win, it will be their first victory in Dallas in quite some time. Okay. Hi everyone, don't forget to hit, comment, and subscribe to the homie Big Al. Awesome sports content. Thanks, my brother. That's the homie Check MP checking in from Bakersfield, Cali. On to Sunday Night Football. And this is my game of the week. The 7-1 Detroit Lions, off to their best start since 1956, down in the Space City to face the 6-3 Houston Texans. Sunday night at 8:20 on NBC and streaming on Peacock. Alright, the Lions have taken over the number 1 spot in my Week 10 power rankings. And the Houston Texans have fallen to number 13 thanks to that Thursday night loss to the Jets last week. Current point spread is Detroit -3.5, over-under is 49. I debated long and hard about this one. I seriously thought about taking the Texans, but I gotta go with the hot hand. Detroit will win this one 27-23. Game will go over 49 by just a point. And I'm taking the Lions at -3.5. And rounding out my picks, you've got Monday Night Football with the 2-6 Miami Dolphins visiting the 4-4 Los Angeles Rams. Monday night at 8:15 on ESPN. Oh, by the way, Lions-Texans will be called by Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, and Melissa Stark. And the Dolphins and Rams on ESPN will be called by Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, and Lisa Salters. The Dolphins are at 23 in my Week 10 power rankings. They have lost both games since Tua Tagovailoa returned at quarterback. Meanwhile, the LA Rams are 4-4 and riding the high of their overtime victory in Seattle last week. Current point spread is LA -1, over-under is 50. But something's telling me that Tua will win his first game with the Dolphins, or his first game since returning to the Dolphins after that concussion he suffered back in week 2, which cost him more than a month. I have the Dolphins winning this game 28-20, the game going under 50, just a couple points, and I'm taking Miami +1. Teams off this week include the 6-3 Green Bay Packers, ranked number 7, the 4-5 Seattle Seahawks, ranked number 17, the 2-7 Cleveland Browns, ranked at number 28, and the 2-7 Las Vegas Raiders, ranked number 31. And before we go, we'll finally get into the latest college football playoff rankings, which were released on Tuesday night. And we will start at the bottom and work our way up, where you'll find the Army Black Knights 8-0 record at number 25. They are at North Texas this week. Number 24 is the Missouri Tigers at 6-2. They play host to Oklahoma. Number 23 is the Clemson Tigers at 6-2. They are at Virginia Tech. Number 22 is the Louisville Cardinals at 6-3, and they are off this week. Number 21, you got the Washington State Cougars with a record of 7-1. They will host Utah State this week in Pullman. Number 20 is Coach Prime's Colorado Buffaloes at 6-2. They're on the road this week against Texas Tech. Number 19 is the Kansas State Wildcats at 7-2. They are off this week. That's after the loss to Houston in Week 10. The Pitt Panthers are at 7-1 and comes in at number 18, and they're hosting Virginia. Oh, cool. I'm at 55 subs. Thanks for that update, bro. The Iowa State Cyclones are number 17 at 7-1. They visit Kansas. Number 16 is the Ole Miss Runnin' Rebels at 7-2. They will play host to Georgia, and they are one of the top teams. I'll tell you where Georgia is in just a second. Number 15 is the LSU Tigers, 6-2 record. They host Alabama, and I'll tell you where the Tide landed in just a bit. Number 14 is where you'll find the Texas A&M Aggies, 7-2 record. They are off this week. So are the number 13 ranked SMU Mustangs at 8-1. They are also off. So these would be the teams that would make the college football playoff if the season ended right now. The Boise State Broncos would be the highest ranked group of 5 school at number 12. 7-1 record. This week they host Nevada. Number 11, the aforementioned Alabama Crimson Tide with a record of 6-2. They have a night game in Baton Rouge against 15th ranked LSU. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish is at number 10, 7-1 record. They'll host the struggling Florida State Seminoles. Then you've got the BYU Cougars, who have been a really big surprise this year. They're at number 9 with an 8-0 record. And they play their in-state rivals Utah up in Salt Lake this week. The Indiana Hoosiers, off to their best start since 1967, comes in at number 8 with a 9-0 record. They will host the reigning national champion Michigan Wolverines, who are having a down 2024. The Tennessee Volunteers are at number 7, 7-1 record. They host Mississippi State. Number 6 is the Penn State Nittany Lions, fresh off of Saturday's home loss to Ohio State. They are 7-1 and they will host Washington. The Texas Longhorns are at number 5, also with a 7-1 record. They'll host the Florida Gators this week in Austin. The Miami Hurricanes, aka the U, they're up to number 4, 9-0 record. They are in Atlanta to face Georgia Tech. Number 3 is the Georgia Bulldogs at 7-1. They'll face off in Oxford against number 16 Ole Miss. Then you got the Ohio State Buckeyes at number 2, 7-1 record. They host Purdue, currently the worst team in the Big Ten. And speaking of the Big Ten, the Oregon Ducks have the number 1 spot in the CFP Rankings, the first of 2024, with a 9-0 record, and they will host Maryland. So looking at the matchups, the top four teams, Oregon, Ohio State, Georgia, and Miami, all in that order, would have the first round bye right into the second round. Your first round matchups would be Boise State at Texas in the 12 versus 5, Alabama at Penn State in the 11-6 matchup, Notre Dame and Tennessee would play in Knoxville in the 10-7 matchup, and then you've got BYU and Indiana. That looks like one hell of a 9-8 matchup, if you ask me. And that is a look at my Week 10 NFL picks, both straight up and against the spread. Plus the injury report going into Thursday Night Football between the Ravens and Bengals. Plus the newly released college football playoff rankings going into week 11 of the college football season. Now, all my other content is up, including the week 11 college football television schedule and the other college football rankings from both the AB and coaches polls. So feel free to check those out. Alright, I'll be off the next couple of days. I'll be back at it on Sunday with a look at the rest of the Week 10 NFL injury report. So make sure you join me for that around 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, about an hour before the early games start. In the meantime, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, ring the bell, and get notified every time I go live. Big Al signing off. Thanks for listening, and enjoy Bengals-Ravens tonight and the pigskin this weekend. Peace out. Alrighty. That is what I wanted. Now I can